Year 8. So in this video we're going to have a look at how we can use the circumference of a circle to find the diameter or radius. So previously we'd done how to use the diameter or radius to find the circumference. This one's going backwards. We're just using the same relationship but going in the other direction. So what we're going to do is we're still going to use the same relationship that C is equal to pi d, but what we're going to do is we're going to rearrange it so that we can use C to find d. So we want to get d by itself in this equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by pi in order to rearrange it. And then if we tidy up our left hand and right hand side, well, our right hand side just becomes d times pi over pi, which is just d. So we can write d on our right, and that's going to be equal to c over pi, so c divided by pi. So we're doing a division now. So we can write that equation the other way around, just so we've got the d on the left. It's a little bit nicer to look at. And so we can write d is equal to c over pi, c divided by pi. And this means that if we know the circumference, all we have to do is divide by pi to get our diameter. And again, that's something that we're pretty happy about. So let's have a look at an example here to see how we can use this to find a diameter. So this example says we've got a circle with a circumference of 40 millimeters. So let's draw that to show what's going on. And so we have our circle, and it says it's got a circumference of 40 millimeters. What that means is that that distance in red there, that edge distance, is c. So that's actually c equals 40 millimeters. So c equals 40. Now we're trying to find the diameter, which would be this distance here, this d, that straight line across through the center there. And so to do that, we're going to use the relationship that d is equal to c over pi. And all we have to do to get that is we're just going to substitute in our value for c. And so we know c is 40, so we're going to replace that c in the equation with a 40. So we see that d will be 40 over pi. Now that would be our exact answer if we were asked to leave it in exact form. But this question says we'd like our answer to 2 decimal places, so we're going to use an approximation to do that. The question doesn't give us a particular approximation, so we can just use our calculator to do this one for us. So when we type that into our calculator, we see that d is equal to, and it comes up with 12.73239545. 9545. Okay, so we're going to round that to 2 decimal places, which all we have to do is we're just going to have a look at that second decimal place and see if the third decimal place will round it up or down. Now that 2 is less than 5, so we're going to round that 3 down, so we're going to leave it as a 3. So to 2 decimal places, our answer is just going to be d equals 12.73, and again we were in millimeters, so our answer is 12.73 millimeters for this example. Alright, so let's have a look at another example here. This one we have a circle that has a circumference of 13 centimeters. And we're asked to find the radius of the circle and to give our answer in exact form. So that means in terms of pi, so we won't be using a calculator or anything to do an approximation. So let's have a look here. If we have a circle with circumference of 13 centimeters, what that means is that distance around the edge there, that red distance, would be 13. So we have C equals 13. We're in centimeters. Always need to pop that in with the question at the end. So to find our diameter, all we have to do is we have D is going to be equal to C over pi. And to find out what that is, we've just got to substitute our value for C. So we know C is 13. So we're going to replace our C in the equation with a 13. So we have 13 over pi. Now we're very close. That's got the diameter there. And it's in exact form. So all we need to do to find the radius is halve it. So using that relationship that R equals D over 2, because the diameter is always twice the radius, so the radius is always half of the diameter. So all we need to do to find our radius is just divide this fraction, this 13 over pi, by 2, which is the same as multiplying by a half. So we just end up with an extra 2 on the bottom here of our fraction. So when we multiply 13 over pi by a half, or divide it by 2, same thing, we just end up with 13 over 2 pi, which is our exact form of our answer there, and that is measuring a number of centimeters, and that's actually our exact form of our radius for this question. So our radius is 13 over 2 pi centimeters. And just note there that it's fully simplified because 13 over 2 is a fully simplified fraction, so that is the correct simplified exact form of our answer.